Well, normally, I'm not at a loss for words. But this is a little bit different. Is this? Let me just ramble a little bit here. Maybe I can make some sense of some of it. The video, or the footage that's about to come up, is it of a bear hunt? Yes, it is. It is a bear hunt. Is it your typical or normal bear hunt? Probably far from it. But it is bear hunt. Let me kind of talk a little bit about bears and my interaction with bears. I've never shot a bear. I've done very, very little actual bear hunting. Usually the bears that I encounter are in conjunction with hunting deer or elk or out fishing out streams or something like that. I've had numerous, and I mean numerous, bear encounters. Some very close. Probably the closest one. I had shot the best whitetail that I've ever got. I shot him one evening and didn't find him that evening. So I go back the next morning to try to find him, and the wind's blowing, and I mean it's blowing every which direction. It's blowing pretty hard, and it's got leaves. The leaves some are still on the trees, and were still falling, and it was picking up fresh fallen leaves and blowing it around. There's a lot of leaves blowing, a lot of noise, and I'm easing up through there, and I hear above and beyond all this other noise, I hear a different noise. It's like a movement. It's a rhythmic movement or noise. And I look around right quick and I look up, and here comes, I mean, a bear, a big bear. And he's in high gear, and he's coming right at me. Well, I didn't know it at the time at all, but he had found my buck and was feeding on him. And I suppose that wind blowing every which direction, he got my scent. And all he was trying to do was get out of Dodge. He just picked the wrong direction. I reckon he was trying to run from me. Instead, he ran right at me. So when I look up and I saw him, then he's coming right at me. But of course, I didn't know that he had been feeding on my buck. But matter of fact, that didn't even enter my mind at the time. But here he comes, barreling. I mean, barreling right at me. But his gaze was not fixed on me. So he's kind of turned his head as he's running. His head's kind of moving back and forth. I knew. I mean, he's not coming at me. He ain't charging me. Okay, he's getting out of Dodge, but he's not charging me. He's just trying to get out of the way. That's what he's really doing. But he come so close to me that I could have just reached my left hand down and touched him. I mean, he didn't brush against me. But he only missed me by a few inches. I mean, I could have just dropped my hand down and he went right on. I could have pet him from head to toe or head to tail. But I reckon he thought I was a stump or something. Anyway, he just barreled right on past. That was the closest bear that I've had to me. And another time I was up on a real steep mountain ridge, and there's a side ridge, just a little finger ridge comes down off, and they're real sharp. They go down, they flatten out, and they're steep on all three sides, but they're real short. So there, I found that there was a really tore up ground scrape and a big old buck rub right out on that point. And it's just small points, you know, it ain't 20, 30 yards long. Anyway, I'm running out near the end of it, and I lean my muzzleloader up against a tree, and I'm listening to chipmunks way down here 70, 75, 80 yards down off the side, just making all kinds of racket in the leaves. And I stood there a little while, and I just kind of looked, finally looked around behind me, and not 10 feet from me stood a monster bear. And he was standing right in that ground scrape, smelling around. And then he started smelling up the buck rub. And I'm standing there with my rifle leaning up against a tree. And this big monster bear about 10 feet from it. And suddenly I reckon he got my wind. But anyway, he wheeled and he ran straight away as fast as he could go, but only about 20 yards. And I can tell you, I did not hear that bear come up behind me. I didn't even hear him when he ran. But anyway, I grabbed up my muzzleloader, and I got peep sight on it and a bright front bead on it. And he ran about 20 yards, stopped, turned around, and stood straight up. And I put that bead right in the middle of his chest and said, bang. If this was next week, you'd be dead. But as usual, the bear encounters that I have, that offer me a good shot. Either the season closed last week or it opens next week. Or else, maybe out west, 20-some years of elk hunting. Some years I'd buy a bear tag and some I wouldn't. On the years that I bought a bear tag, never had an opportunity of bear. The majority of the years in which I did not buy a bear tag, I'd have a bear anywhere from 5 to maybe 15 to most 20 yards from me. How does that happen? I don't know. But anyway, I've had, I don't know how many opportunities of bears, good opportunity, good shots, but never when the season was open. Never. During the bear season, I've seen a lot of bears, but not one time did they ever offer me a good shot. They're always hightailing it through the woods off 150 so yards, moving through the woods and walking, dripping along, but never have I had a good shot at them. It's just the way it goes. I mean, so even though I'd like to get a bear, I've never gotten one. I even had one bear on my front porch of my house here at the farm. I mean, I've had bears here at the farm and never get a shot at them when the season's open. I even had one on my front porch. He investigated every piece of furniture, every flower, every ornament, everything on that front porch. And then he ambled off the porch, walked over toward the edge, just below, out of the yard and down toward the creek. And I've got archery targets, you know, big foam archery targets down there. And he got the first one, he started beating the daylights out of it and tearing up my archery target. So I hollered at him, "Hey, leave my target alone." He stood up and he looked around, and so he walked over maybe 30 yards and I got another one over, another target over there. And my gosh, he started the same thing on him. He started tearing up my archery target. So I heard him, "Hey, leave my target alone." So he wandered off. And anyway, he eventually left. But, I mean, I've had more bear encounters than you can shake a stick at to never got a bear. Now, I've had acquaintances, people I know, friends that are bear hunters. And, of course, they invite you along on a bear hunt for whatever reason. I mean, they're hunting with dogs, and for whatever reason, it's not because I got anything against hunting with dogs. I certainly don't. I've had many a hunting dog. But never, I don't know why. It just never worked out that I went with one of these guys that they bear hunt. That's what they do. But the bear, I mean, like right now, bear season's open. I'm sitting out here on the farm at Quigley, and I'm looking around, and there is always a chance that a bear come through. I would really hope he would. But anyway, I've never gotten a bear, and I would like to get one. Well, my brother has a nephew his name is Gregory Osborne Sr. And my brother Doug and Greg they hadn't had any real contact with each other for many, many years, and then for a while, they just one of those things, and then last year they kind of hooked up again, and Gregory had grown into a man. He wasn't a little boy like my brother remembered him. Remember, Gregory lived up in Richmond. They were gone out of town for a long time, so that's one reason that they kind of lost contact. But my brother had gotten Gregory into shooting and hunting when Greg was just a young guy. So anyway, Greg looked my brother up, and they hooked up. And I guess they picked up where they left off 50 years or so ago. Anyway, Greg, I guess Doug was telling me about Gregory and telling Gregory about me. So Greg called up one day. We had a long conversation. And since then, we've had many long conversations. Gregory and I hit it off. We become we become iPhone buddies. I guess you'd call it that. We call us iPhone buddies. And Greg, he had come down. He'd had his health and his ability to get around, his ability to feel and to move was drastically, rapidly deteriorating. And he just couldn't get out and do much of any hunting or anything this year. I mean, he just was not in good shape at all. So, anyway, Gregory has permission to hunt these, different properties around. And on one particular farm up here, in a little ways on up in the country, they've had bears. They've had bears that pretty much hanging around. Matter of fact, 3 bears, and they've had. The farmer don't want them. He raises cattle. He don't want the bears. Greg don't want a bear. I mean, he's not in any shape to get one anyway, but he don't want one. He's killed a 300-pounder back a few years ago, and he said he didn't want to go through that again. I mean, he had one bear, and he glad he got him. He don't want any more. My brother, he don't want a bear either. I mean, he's never killed one, but he don't want one. Well, I do. So Greg says, okay, I'll take you up here at this farm that they've got bears, and bears showing up frequently, and the farmer just soon they didn't. So anyway, Greg's going to take me up to put me on bear. So that's where this little tale starts. I'm about to forget something. My history with bears, it's a long history with bear. The night that I gave Diane an engagement ring, when we went courting, where we went, we always out in the mountains, or lakes, or rivers. That's where we went. show you what kind of woman she was. Not that she liked the lakes and the mountains and rivers all that much, but that's where I wanted to go, and she went with me. But anyway, on the night that I gave Diane her engagement ring, a bear run slap dab into the side of the car. We're coming a little old mountain road, twisty, turny, narrow little road out in the mountains, and it was right after dark. And this bear come charging down off the steep bank. I guess he just wanted to cross the road all the way, and the car got in his way. He ran right in the door. I mean, the driver's side door. He crashed right into the door right there. And I don't know if his teeth or claws, whatever. He put several scars from the door all the way back to the tail light. He rolled over there in the road and jumped up, went around the car, and up the other bank he went. And on that same night, the same time that we were having a bear crash into us, her daddy heard something outside, and they were inside city limits, but one of the last houses, actually the last house out in city limits, and it was probably it was kind of a house sort of out by itself, a couple hundred yards from a subdivision. It was on the end of a road out on the edge of town. Anyway, he hears something. He goes out there, and there's a bear in his trash cans. So he runs in the house. He ran in the house, got a gun, run outside, and shoot him off. He didn't shoot the bear, but he ran him off. So on the night that I got engaged to this cougar of mine, a bear run into my car, and her daddy had a bear in the backyard in the city. I've had a long history with bears. I go to meet Greg, meet him at a town up the highway here a ways. I meet Greg, and he's there with another of his buddies, Steve. I'd never met Steve. And Greg was just exactly like he is on the phone, and he is what he is. He's a character. He's a good old boy. Steve I'd never met, and Steve's a heck of a nice guy. Steve's quiet. He's kind of quiet. I mean, he don't he don't up and just talk a lot like some of us, but he's a good old boy. Good boy. Anyway, I met Greg and Steve up country, and we take off for the farm. Let's pick it up there. I'm headed up to Abingdon to meet Greg Osborne, who's going to take me out to a farm that he knows. They've been having a bear problem. He don't want a bear, and I do. So we're going to go to Abingdon and see what we can find. Keep your fingers crossed. I got mine crossed. Now I'm looking for Jimbo's Market, wherever that might be. I think this is Jimbo. Jimbo. That's got to be Greg. That's great.
He seen the deer. He said, "But the tail up or down?" He's going to tail up.
What do you say, Mr. Preacher?
Any of that true?
This is Steve Newland. This is Dennis
Steve,
Pritchard.
glad to meet you, sir. And glad to meet you, sir.
Yeah, finally. God, but we talk on the phone all the time. We're just sitting here. He's talking about a deer he missed up there on White Top.
So I'll tell you in the story. So I went. We've been talking about it, and I said, "Man, that's hard to believe. I missed that deer, a tripod and everything." But about 2 weeks later, me and Randy were looking at the film, and they rolled it back. He said, "You know why you missed that deer?" I said, "No, why?" He showed me a freaking Christmas tree ahead.
We did what?
Hit a Christmas tree.
Hit a Christmas tree. Well, that might affect it.
Yeah, that's like
I thought you said the tripod sunk in the ground.
it did. But I thought that's why I missed it, because I was right on it until I pulled the trigger, and then I thought I felt it. I wasn't sure, but I made that excuse because I
You
missed
know,
it.
up there at Clear Creek, you know, where my blind is.
Yeah.
You know how it goes up, rolls up that hill going to the woods, and then it rolls over? I had that big deer in my sights, the one that your brother shot. Had him in my sights, squeezed the trigger. Why didn't I hit that deer? It hit the damn bank, that rollover on that bank.
Yeah, that's what I
Bank.
said.
I went,
Well,
son of
you barrel below your sight. Is that what it was? Yeah, that'll work.
I did too.
I'm like, God dang, I went back and looked at the video on that one. I give up.
You know, I seen the bullet hit the tree, and I go, well, I kind of feel good about that.
Yeah, well, you didn't wound it.
Yeah.
Slip on that ain't too far much farther. It's about 10, 15 minutes right down the road here. Get down there. I'm going to stop up there at Charlie's and get him some, I maybe brought them some deer sausage. Give that to them, and I'll slip on down there and put you in a place and put Dennis in a place.
Hey, like your sausage.
I love that sausage.
Good stuff, ain't it?
Yeah, he's the one I watch videos on how to do all this stuff. Him and his brother had been, I'd still be packing sausage here down in that thing. That first run ain't too bad on my hands, but that second one, when it gets that, start putting it through on that second grind, that thing don't want to come up out of there, and I was struggling with it. And Doug said, "Watch out, let me get over there." So Doug started doing it, and I said, "All right, I'll start doing the first one, you do the second run, and we'll pack this up." So.
Then he finally, he said on one of them, he said he forgot that Diane's little technique of rolling it up to put it down in there. Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, he was just taking it by the hand. It was getting all over everything. Like, dang. I watched this thing though. This guy did it. He had some kind of funnel, and a bracket come down. He took a clamp and just clamped it to the table. Pull his bags up there. Drop the deer meat down in there. It goes right down in the bag, and then just slips the bag off.
He wasn't using a round bag, was it?
Huh?
It was using a round bag or a flat?
Bag.
Round. I put up 90 pounds of deer sausage one year and lost most of it because them there round bags just didn't see them good enough.
Yeah.
You know,
I like it vacuum
freezer burn. Oh yeah, it'll last that way.
Yeah. All right, let's get on.
I'll follow you. Well, I know what Greg's plan is when we get to the farm. He's gonna take me in his truck, drive me over to the back side of the farm, back into the farm. And what it is, it's one of our rivers comes down and it forms a peninsula. This meadow, the woods, the fields and the woods around where they see the bears a lot is like a peninsula. It's got river pretty much on three sides of it. And I'd seen bears in that river, and I've been up there fishing. and had bears just come right out in the creek with me, you know. And so I've seen bears up in here, right around there, in the river, and in the creeks around there. I've been trout fishing up there. I've had bears for company, close company. Anyway, I know the Greg's wanting to take me over and get me set up. He's trying to get me a bear, okay? Well, I want a bear. Don't get me wrong, I want a bear. But I had planned on this. I thought, okay, I know Greg's not in real good shape. So I took my van. I took a lot of stuff out and put a lot of stuff in. To my plan was, I'm gonna try to talk Greg into no, don't. I don't want you to take me over there and put me out and you sit around go back and sit in your truck or something for hours, several hours. No. I said, if we get up there, I said, let's take my van. It's 4-wheel drive, okay? So we'll take my van and we'll take it back. And we'll take it and we'll set that van up in a position far enough away from where the bears normally come out. Several, 200, 250 at least, that yards away from where the bears are normally set up, and we'll just park right there. And I took with me 2 really comfortable chairs. I said, let's just set the rifle up out here. Me and you sit there and we're just gonna get acquainted, get to really know one another for the next several hours. We're just gonna sit there and shoot the breeze and shoot the bull and get to know each other. If a bear comes out, fine. If he don't come out, that's fine too. But we are going to bear hunt, so I finally talked him into it. He wanted to take me over there and try to get me a bear and, stay, discreet and all that stuff. Nah, it just go over there and set up. If a bear comes out, we're far enough away and they're not going to be able to tell us something, if a bear comes out in that field, we'll get him. We'll get him. I got confidence in my rifle. We'll get him. So, took 2 rifles in case one come out really close, which I doubted. We'd try with the muzzleloader, but to come out where they normally see him, he's going home with me. The bear's going to go home with me. Come up where they normally see him. So, finally talked Greg into going out. And we set up. Had a great afternoon.
I used to have all kinds of cameras and stuff. I sold a lot of them. I had some nice.
I got you can get a fortune tied up in camera. Oh, crap.
This one camera right here, it videos and everything, and it's probably just as good as some of the other ones. I kept this one because my daughters bought it for me. It's a Canon Rebel, but it videos and got a good mic and everything in it, so I use that one a lot now.
I'm going to go ahead and put one in here just in case.
No, that's just me. And some good microphone birds.
This is a hunter's way to hunt, ain't it?
Yes, sir. That's just like that. Ground blind I got set up. I got nice chairs in there like this, just a ground blind. But I got a heater in there. I got the shooting stick. You can lay your gun up on, lock it in. You don't have to hold your gun. And then it's got the swivel on it where you can just move it around. And my fingers, though, the deer that I missed, it was right on top of me. When I went to pull the trigger, I thought I had the trigger. I had the damn trigger guard, and I was trying to pull it. Deer got away from me, and then I tried shooting that one that ran out in front of me. And that's when I shot that embankment. Now after I did that, I said, I'm scared I'm gonna wound one, and I'm not gonna survive. I said, that's it. I'm gonna give it up this year.
This is the world famous Greg Osborne.
Ain't nothing famous about it.
Doug's making you that way, you know.
Yeah, I hear Doug. He's full of it too.
Brother Doug, his friend of ours says if you want to spread something around, there's 3 ways you can do it. Telephone, telegraph, or tell a Doug.
Sickle down there on that. Look down there for the block here for the chimney. There's a old sickle back in there.
That's the old home place chimney down there.
Yeah.
The wind's not doing us any favors right now.
Where you can shoot faster and everything. Shoot, I started spinning an arm and a leg in that.
Great. When I started the IDPA, I had a Colt Combat Elite that laid beside my nightstand for 17 years. Minding its own business. I got involved in IDPA. I made 17 modifications to that goddamn gun. It's beautiful back here. Me and Mr. Greg here, we've caught a lot of fish, killed a lot of game,
Talked a lot of bull.
traveled many a mile. It ain't been nowhere seen a thing.
Not yet, anyway.
We done pretty good, ain't it?
Yeah.
We had
a good trip.
we did see a fox squirrel a while ago.
And an eagle.
And an eagle. Yeah, we saw an eagle. Yeah. We did see an eagle. But we're liable to see a bear, who knows what, here in a little while. I'd put it this way, we're loaded for bear.
Yeah.
See this here?
Ready for anything.
We're loaded for bear. We've had a good afternoon though.
God, yes.
A pleasant afternoon.
Yes, we have. So I say more fun than I deserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it got any better, I'd have to hire you to help me enjoy it.
It's fun.
So I'm gonna show
I
up.
just like being out looking. Just you never know what's gonna show up when, you know.
That's true. It's like that bear I was telling you about, that thing showed up out of nowhere. Wasn't hunting, he just showed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised I ain't seen the first deer out here still.
I'm actually surprised that we hadn't seen a deer. Yes, it looks like it'll be deer country for sure.
I know they're in here.
Oh, well, that's good.
God darn turkey season. We
Yeah,
kept
they had
bumping
to
them
be.
left and right.
They had to be in here. And it would be excellent turkey country.
Well, during turkey season, like I said, we were chasing them turkeys, and shoot, we kept running into deer. We were bumping more deer than we were turkeys.
You got to be there. It usually takes you by surprise. By the time you let your guard down, you look up and there it is, you know.
Yep.
Damn, Greg's really into this. He's over here yawning.
I love it.
It's about the hunting is so fast. It's about to put him to sleep over here.
Shoot. They about wore me out. I tell you what, I could sleep out in weather like this. I could sleep.
Oh God, yeah. That's why I said you can lay right there in the van, sleep all you want.
I'm ready for that.
I will have to tell you, I took the soft mattress out just before we come up here. Though.
I figured you had.
I took my mattresses out.
Shoot, if my van was like that, I'd have to take a mattress out too, because I'd spend more time
The reason
sleeping.
I took that mattress out in case I had a roll bear up there in the back. I didn't want to be on the mattress.
Well, it's still early. We could still.
Oh yeah, it's early for bear. Even though I have seen them up and brought up and straight up and down noon, you know. That's what we're doing. we some serious bear hunters right here. I'm telling you. Of course, you can get one right here just as easy as you could anywhere else around.
Well, as long as they can't see too well, we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, they can't see good. They can hear very well though. We're just sitting out here. It's a beautiful place down here. Oh yeah, it's usually late. We're just relaxing, enjoying a little conversation.
That's right.
I do have a rifle or two ready though. We're just gonna sit and wait a while. Thank you, Lord. Too much. You wouldn't think that this wire would mess this binoculars up as much as it does. Man, it looks like they're out of focus and everything else. All right, Greg. What we've had here today has been a bear hunt without the bear.
Exactly. Not much of anything, just a good conversation and a beautiful afternoon.
Oh, we've had a good afternoon sitting here shooting a bull. As a matter of fact, we shot so much bull, we wasn't ever going to get them all back in this van.
Yeah, we did see a couple deer.
Yeah, saw a couple of deer and a fox squirrel. And my God, this is December. What is 28, 29?
29th.
The 29th.
We got 2 more days to hunt. That's it.
And this is...
Well, we got till Saturday.
You got Saturday, go through Saturday. It's warm. It's warm out here.
Yeah.
But look at that sky. Yeah.
What they call for rain in the next couple
Well,
days.
something's got to give.
Well,
Oh, well.
we'll go over to Clear Creek. I know there's deer over there.
Yeah.
We were just hunting for a bear. I knew there'd been 3 back here
Oh, yeah.
that we knew of.
Well, I guarantee they've been there.
But just no luck today, and that's part of hunting.
Oh,
you know.
yeah, that's the way it goes.
But I've had a great day other than that.
Oh, my, yeah. Greg, I've enjoyed it, bud.
I've enjoyed it. I loved it, buddy. I loved it. Finally getting to know you and talk with you. And
I've enjoyed it.
everything. I've enjoyed every bit of it. But we'll do this again.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, we're going to close it up for tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I can still see together up my paraphernalia.
We got it scattered everywhere.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, so we didn't get a bear, and that don't matter one iota. We did not get a bear. But what were the chances? You know, my history with bears, I mean, what in the devil's what's the chance of that happening anyway? But we did set up, and bears, they've seen bears there many times, and just not when I was there. But that's the way it goes. I'm not too concerned about that, and I might get to go up another time or two before the season closes. We'll see. But the day after the hunt, Greg goes see his doctor, and it had a heck of a time trying to nail down what he had, but anyway, they finally nailed down they had rheumatoid arthritis that's advancing rather rapidly, and they got him on. They gave him a prescription, and he called last night. And he said he'd got that prescription filled and started taking his medication. He said within 2 hours he felt better than he's felt in months. He felt so good that he got up this morning and went out to one of his properties, the one that my brother shot the good buck off of. He just went out just to see what he could see, and he said 13 deer was out in the field there. And so he's actually going to go and hunt Saturday afternoon, and he invited me to go with him. So I'm going to go with him and try my best. Hopefully Greg can get a shot at one, and I'm going to try to get him on film. Anyway, that's the plan. But, so I met Greg. I knew him over the phone, but I actually got to meet him in person. And I got to meet Steve, who's a heck of a nice guy. He's got an organization where him and several other guys, that they hunt, and they take the deer meat and stuff they got, and they donate it to charity. They have it made up in the burger and stuff, and they donate it to charity. They got a really good thing going there. But I also met 2 other guys. You believe this? These are friends of Greg's. I met Carol with 2 R's and 2 L's. Okay. In his family, there's another Carol with 1 R and 1 L. Now, Carol with 2 R's and 2 L's said, I'm the one with 2 R's and 2 L's, and I'm the good looking one. Well, it's pitch black out there, and we're standing there talking, a little bit of light from a headlight once in a while, if they're in the yard, but I don't know about that statement, because the Carol with 1 R and 1 L is about 5'2", long blonde hair, and a knockout. Good-looking woman. Goodness gracious, good-looking woman. So, and I don't know, if you put it to a contest, I might have to vote for the Carol with 1 R and 1 L. But Carol with 2 R's and 2 L's, and my goodness, what a friendly fellow. My goodness gracious. He's as friendly, he's the cousin too, and as friendly as the guy that's married to the Carol with 1 R and 1 L. I mean, friendliest people you ever met in your life. I mean, great people. So I'm really blessed. I've met Greg in person. I've met Steve, who's a heck of a guy, and then I've met Carol with 2 R's and 2 L's. I mean, as friendly a fellow as you'll ever meet in your life. I mean, just like you've known him forever. And then, how do I explain this? Then I met Charlie. Charlie's the farmer. And I'm not even going to try to explain Charlie. Oh my goodness, all I can say is Charlie's Charlie. And I know that Charlie had, I think he'd had a beer or 2, or 3 or 4 or whatever, but oh my goodness. Charlie is a character. He's my kind of guy. Oh, matter of fact, this afternoon, I'm going to drive back up to Charlie's farm and just see if he even remembers me. He invited me to come back and hunt anytime, but I'm not going to go up there and hunt this evening. I'm just go up and I'm going to go up and talk to Charlie for a little while. I go, let me tell you, Charlie's character. So I didn't get a bear, but I got something a whole lot more valuable than a bear. I added 4 more friends to my roster of friends. Now, I mean, these 4 guys are just like you know them forever. So what a blessed day it was. I mean, man, was I ever blessed. As usual, when I got a gun and the bear season's open, I did not see a bear. Oh, but I wouldn't trade that for anything. I've met 4 great guys that seem like they've been friends forever. And you know what? That's being blessed. So if I had a choice, getting a bear or making 4 friends, I'm going to choose friends every time. And I'm still looking to get that bear. And one of these better look out. Because one of these days, this luck situation's going to change. And I'm going to have a gun and a bear in the same place at the same time. And that bear is going home with me. I don't know how long that's going to take, but one of these days, a bear's going home with me. Count on it. Talk soon.